They found the bodies in a cave near Haifa, 13,000 years old. Stone mortars still stained with something that shouldn't exist yet. Stanford researchers tested the residue in 2018. Beer. These people were brewing alcohol before they invented agriculture, before they built cities, before they wrote language. They were getting drunk at funerals while humanity was still learning how to be human. Think about that. Our ancestors discovered alcohol's effects, felt their brain flood with artificial pleasure, watched their friends die from it, and kept drinking anyway for 13,000 years. Nobody invented alcohol. It invented itself. Picture this. You're living 9,000 years ago in what is now China. You store some rice in a jar, maybe some honey dips in. A few hawthorn berries fall inside. It rains. The jar sits forgotten in a corner. Natural yeast. It is everywhere, floating in the air, coating the berry skins. Starts eating the sugars, converting them to ethanol, a chemical process as automatic as rust forming on iron. When you finally open that jar, the smell is different, sweet and sharp. You taste it because humans taste everything. That is how we survived. 20 minutes later, your brain is doing something it has never done before. Dopamine, the same chemical that floods your system while eating when you're starving, is suddenly everywhere. Your anxiety melts. That constant prehistoric fear of predator, starvation, death, gone. You feel warm, connected, invincible. Your brain, this 3-pound mass of neurons that evolved over millions of years to keep you alive, just got hacked by rotten fruit juice. Archaeological chemistry from Penn Museum shows that these accidental wines hit about 20% alcohol naturally. Strong enough to feel like you have discovered magic. Strong enough that your brain starts planning how to feel this way again. Here's the thing about accidents. Once you know how to repeat them, they're not accidents anymore. That accidental discovery 9,000 years ago, here's what it actually did to your brains and what it still does to yours. Your brain runs on signals, roughly 86 billion neurons firing in patterns, creating everything you called you. Alcohol breaks into this system like a burglar who knows the alarm code. First, it increases GABA, your brain's brake pedal. Everything slows down. Your speech slurs because the signal from brain to mouth can't travel their usual speed. But here's the sinister part. Simultaneously, alcohol triggers massive dopamine release in your nucleus accumbens, your reward system. The part that is supposed to fire when you do something good for survival. Except, you're not doing something good for survival, you're drinking poison. Literal poison. Ethanol is toxic to human cells, but your brain doesn't know that. It just knows this feels better than almost anything else. Vanderbilt researchers in 2025 discovered something disturbing. Even after 30 days without alcohol, a full month, the dopamine system remains fundamentally altered. The receptors stay damaged. The natural pleasure from food, achievement, diminished. Your brain physically remodels itself around alcohol. Look at brain scans of alcoholics. You can see it. Black holes where gray matter used to be. Your brain literally shrinks. The organ that makes you is dissolving in the very substance you are using to feel better. The brain tries desperately to rebalance, reducing dopamine receptors, increasing stress hormones. You need more alcohol to feel normal. Not happy, just normal. The same amount that once made you euphoric now barely prevents you from feeling sick. They call this tolerance. Your brain thinks it is adapting, protecting you. Instead, it is building a prison where the only key is more poison. And while your brain rewires itself for addiction, the rest of your body is dying, slowly, cell by cell. Every drink you take, about 90% heads straight to your liver. The 3-pound organ, the only one that can regenerate itself, starts breaking down the ethanol. First, into acetaldehyde, a chemical so toxic it is classified as a carcinogen. Then, into acetic acid. The liver cells doing this work, they're dying. Each one that processes alcohol is damaged or destroyed. At first, fat builds up around the cells. Doctors call it cirrhosis, reversible if you stop drinking, but most people don't stop. The fat turns to inflammation, hepatitis. Not the viral kind, the alcoholic kind. Liver cells swell up and burst, spilling their contents and causing more inflammation. Keep drinking and scar tissue replaces living cells, cirrhosis. from the Greek word for orange colored, because that is what your liver looks like when it is dying. The scarring is irreversible. Your liver shrinks, hardens, fails. Research from 2019 found drinking 7 or more drinks daily increases cirrhosis risk by 1070%. But here's what they don't advertise. Even 1 drink a day measurably increases your risk. Meanwhile, in your brain, neurons are dying. The cerebellum, controlling balance and coordination, shrinks permanently. The hippocampus, where memories form, shrivels. You can't form new memories, can't walk straight, your eyes twitch uncontrollably. Your body has 37 trillion cells. Alcohol damages all of them. So if humans figured out alcohol was poison, and they did thousands of years ago, why didn't we stop? 14,000 years ago in Arabian desert, something unprecedented happened. An entire culture that loved wine, wrote poetry about it, celebrated with it, traded it like gold, gave it up completely. But not overnight. The Quran's prohibition came in 3 calculated stages. First, don't come to prayer drunk. Reasonable. Who could argue? Then, alcohol has some benefits, but the harm is greater. A warning. Preparing minds for what is coming. Finally, the killing blow. Intoxicants are Satan's handiwork. Will you not abstain? They called alcohol khamr, literally what covers the intellect, the mother of all evils, because it gives birth to the rest. Murder, rape, betrayal. Strip away human inhibition and watch what emerges. The genius wasn't the prohibition. Other religions tried that and failed. The genius was understanding addiction psychology 14 centuries before psychology existed. Make it gradual, make it social, make it about something bigger than individual desire. When the final verse was revealed, Arabs poured their wine into the streets of Medina, rivers of alcohol flowing through dust. They did it because they understood something we pretend not to know. Alcohol is incompatible with human flourishing. You cannot be your best self with a brain hijacked by ethanol. They knew alcohol was poison 1400 years ago. So how did we convince ourselves it is medicine? But red wine is good for your heart. This might be the most successful health fraud ever perpetrated. Let me destroy it with math. Resveratrol, the miracle compound in red wine, you would need to drink 500 liters daily to get a therapeutic dose. Your heart would fail from alcohol poisoning centuries before resveratrol helped anything. Harvard researchers found 0 evidence that resveratrol supplements help humans. The studies showing wine drinkers live longer, they're not measuring wine, they're measuring wealth, education, access to healthcare, Mediterranean diets, exercise habits. Rich people drink expensive wine and live longer, not because of the wine, despite it. The alcohol industry generates $1.7 trillion annually, larger than Spain's entire economy. The wine industry alone spends $3.4 billion on advertising each year. The resveratrol studies they cite follow the funding. It always leads back to them. The French paradox, how the French eat rich food but have less heart disease. Researchers now believe it was measurement error. French doctor underreported heart disease deaths for decades. When they corrected the data, the paradox disappeared. Every health organization on earth now states the same thing. No amount of alcohol is safe. Not 1 glass, not in moderation, none. But if we know it is killing us, if the health benefits are lies, why can't we stop? Watch a dinner party. Really watch. One friend raises a toast. She drinks to celebrate, to enhance the moment. Another clinks glasses because everyone else is. He doesn't even like wine, but the ritual matters more than preference. A third drinks to feel connected, to lower the walls between herself and others. Then there's the fourth one. Watch carefully. She drinks differently. Faster, her glass is never empty. She's not celebrating or connecting. She's escaping. From what? Stress, anxiety, the crushing weight of existing in her own skin? Guess which one won't make it home without stopping at the liquor store? Researchers found every drinker falls into these 4 categories: enhancement, conformity, social, coping. The last one, coping, shows the highest correlation with addiction. Your brain learns a simple equation. Feel bad? Drink. Feel worse when it wears off? Drink more. Some escape. They pour their bottles down the drain like those ancient Arabs did. They chose their neurons over numbness. They reclaim themselves cell by cell. But most don't. Most can't. Most won't. In that cave near Haifa, those ancient humans buried their dead with alcohol. They thought they were honoring them, sending them to the afterlife with humanity's great discovery. They don't know they were poisoning the corpses that were already poisoned. Didn't know the beer they brewed to celebrate life was actively destroying it. But you know alcohol is ethanol, and ethanol is a poison. You know it hijacks your reward system, kills your liver, shrinks your brain. You know there is no safe amount. You know that health benefits are lies paid for by trillion-dollar industries. The question isn't whether alcohol is bad for you. Every cell in your body already knows the answer. The question is, why do you keep drinking anyway? Maybe that is the darkest truth. Not that alcohol destroys us, but that we let it. That we have known for 13,000 years exactly what it does and we choose it anyway. Every glass is a decision. Every sip is consent to your own diminishment. The bodies in that cave couldn't have known better. But you do. So what is your excuse?